Hello, good whatever it would be, wherever you are. It's 11:26 in the United Kingdom right now. And welcome to the Full Force News Burst live unboxing with this very sweaty me today. It is hot out here, and I've got like crazy halogen light setup going on right now. Just noticed that the internet might not be that strong at the moment, so I apologize if the connection is a little flaky and a little shaky throughout this one, guys. Um, it's about 6:30 on the East Coast, isn't it? Apologies for that early start. And let me know as well if obviously the connectivity issues continue. We might have to cancel and try something else because obviously it's very difficult to do an unboxing to show this kind of stuff when the connectivity is so weak. It didn't obviously seem to be an issue on the previous ones I've done. So yeah, that might be a shame. We might actually have to cancel this one because, like I said, I can't show you any of the figures if it's glitching and if it's poor connection. How are you guys getting it at the moment? Is it a bit rough? Let me know and I'll cancel and we'll think of something else. Probably I might even try my previous setup just to see if that's any better because that seemed to be pretty strong last time. No one's saying anything in the comments. Could you let me know, guys, what the quality of the stream is like, please? That's all I need to know. And then okay, so far so good. Right. Well, we'll keep going then. And we will shift into, the other screen effortlessly. Then, so yes, we're going to be looking at the Valkyries, the Cobra Valkyries 2-pack, courtesy of In Demand Toys. Thanks, Nick and Mass and all the and Kim and all the crew and Al and everyone at In Demand Toys for the hookup. Got a lot of cool stuff to unbox while I'm here. Thought I'd start with the Valkyries because they're like the first up in the like the group of product I have. So these came through first, and then of course we're going to be looking at. What have we got? We've got Tunnel Rat, we've got Firefly, we've got Grunt, we've got Lowlight, we've got Crimson Viper, we've got Desert Commando Snake Eyes, and we've got Tripwire, and we've got Eels up inside you, finding an entrance where they can. So I think we might, we'll probably save Tripwire till last, just because I'm excited for that one. But at the moment, we are looking at the Cobra Valkyries. Yes, so here's the box. First off, we've got the, and by the way, I'm in my wonderful parents' dining room right now. So thank you very much for letting me set up in here and completely force you into different areas of the house. I appreciate it. Shout out to Mom, who's in the chat already. Hello. Hello, Mom. Even though I can, there you go. There's a voice in the background this time. Amazing. Right, so Cobra Valkyries, here's the box. As you can see, we've got that amazing digital render of the figures on the front there with Junkyard in the background. Obviously from that Sumbo episode where Junkyard's mind is controlled by that mind controller device and goes against Mutt. And it's actually quite sad. When you've got dogs, it's like, oh God. It actually made me it hit me in the feels, that episode. So it's a nice little kind of nod to that, and also the kind of building and location. They were in the castle. They were in that episode as well, I believe. And yeah, you've got the Valkyries on the front looking very cool. The trooper and officer kind of, although I think both of them are troopers in that particular render because neither of them have got the chevron helmet on that render. And then we've got, as you can see, the chevron helmet is on the artwork on the front there with the kind of tan gear and weapons and the trooper behind on that artwork. Pretty interesting way of getting them both on that image as well, because you're kind of like very restricted with that particular space. So it's cool they managed to get both figures in that on the artwork there. And then we've got their loadout, which is pretty hefty. There's a lot of stuff in there, a lot of bits and pieces. We're gonna have to make sure we've got everything. Now, obviously we've got the QR code that goes to nowhere. Well, actually, it does take you to the Hasbro website, the G.I. Joe shop, basically. Oh, hello to everyone in the comments, I should say, because there's a lot of you already. Hello, my Kate. How you doing, Kate? Hello, darling. Not glitching. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Yeah, so here we go. Let's kind of get around the box, I should say. So yes, this is the QR code that takes you to the Hasbro GI Joe shop now, and not the kind of like AWOL website, which just doesn't seem to exist anymore, does it? And then again, the beautiful artwork, a little bit more kind of expanded there, so you can see both figures a bit more so than you can on the front, where it's just the head of the officer there. But yeah, that's really nice, lovely stuff. I don't know if Oliver Barrett did that artwork. Could be, but there's a few people do it. There's a couple of people involved in doing the artwork now on the boxes. Oliver's one of them, who we interviewed not too long ago. Hello, Sergeant Slaughter Slaughterhouse. And of course, on the back, you've got their kind of load out their gear and all of the stuff you get and that it comes with. And they've highlighted some aspects here. They've highlighted a secondary shoulder piece or bicep strap there. They've highlighted the gas mask, and they've highlighted the thigh secondary on that, on the holster secondary, which is interesting. But yeah, and they've actually both got individual ability kind of traits kind of laid out there, but they're so small now that I can't even be bothered to check out what they mean. There's strength in there. There's is that sabotage? Yeah, something like that. And then infantry and weaponsmith and strength again. I can't remember exactly what each one is, and I'm gonna do that for the rest of them. I'm gonna get a whole like list of exactly what is going on with all of their attributes, and I may even come back to this one. Anyway, knife. I'm going to cut into this, and we're going to get into the actual box itself. Just a one bit of tape, and I'm going to use my little technique to avoid folding or flexing the middle of the flap. Kitty said. And I'm not going to show you what it is. I've shown you many times before, but yeah, you don't get that bend or flex in the middle of that if you kind of push with the knife, if you just kind of push it against the edge so that it doesn't catch on the on those flaps. That's how I open that. Right, stop saying flaps. Okay, next we've got their gear. I'm not going to keep going on about the what they call the weapons crates, because they are pretty cool, but I do prefer the blue ones, the ones from previous times. These ones are cool and all, but I don't know, there's just not as much detail that's gone into these particular ones' design. So anyway, you got the 68, you got the Valkyries, you got the Cobra logo on it, etc., etc. All the usual gump. And we've got 2 bags in here. 2 fairly substantial crisp packets. Or chip packets. I've been in the UK a bit long, haven't I? So I'm starting to say crisps again. There we go. I'll tip out that. There's a lot in this bag already. Yikes. That is a lot of gear. Pour it out onto my laptop. Oh my goodness. So they have separated what looks to be, they look like they've separated the what they called the magazines and the and the weapons. So there's a lot of like bits and pieces in the first lot of stuff. So I'm going to just go ahead and grab this rifle and magazine. So these come separately. I'm just going to pop that in there like so. So that's the first weapon. Pretty cool rifle, actually. Quite like that. It's kind of got a little bit of, it's like almost like a bit futuristic kind of vibe on it as well. It's like, I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure if that is an actual real world weapon, but it might be based on one very, like, you know, loosely, but it might be real. I don't know. I'm not au fait enough with that particular style of rifle. I'm going to plug. Okay, so these two come separately as well. A little submachine gun and magazine. Just pop that in there like so. And again, a nice little, there you go. Lovely little weapon there for the Valkyries. So we've got those 2 in black with their magazines separate. Also, we get the black pistols. I imagine we're going to get the black weapons in this bag and then the gold kind of tan weapons in the other one. But anyway, they're your pistols. We've got a tiny knife. That ain't a knife. No, it is, mate. It's not a spoon. And this cool backpack as well. Nice little details on there. kind of straps and everything. And then obviously the 2 pegs to put, I guess, both rifles at the same time, and obviously the backpack peg. So yeah, I think you should be able to pop the old rifles on there like so. And I imagine it's this way around, although the magazines might pop in the way. So maybe it is the other way around. Let's try it. Well, if I put it that way, then the sight's in the way. So I don't know, really. We'll have to see what works best. That might be a bit better, just kind of like keeping it a bit flatter on the back. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. I'll probably only be putting one at a time on there anyway. Then we have got a trooper helmet with some nice detailing on it. So it's got almost like a dark blue and lighter blue kind of two-tone sort of situation going on. I don't think it's black. Oh, it just might be. Yeah. Well, there's almost like there's a hint of blue in there as well, like almost like a lighter black. But anyway, you've got the helmet there, and then you've got the gas mask, which is pretty neat as well. So it's cool to have a few of these because then you can really start mixing and matching their weapons and gear. So that's one bag open. I just want to make sure there's nothing else in there. No, we're good. So this one effectively should have the tan stuff and the blast effects, right? Opens that up. Interesting. Yeah, it does look like it looks like it has all of those extra pieces. I know, I just feel like based on the amount of stuff that I saw on the front, are we going to be missing anything? I don't know. We might be. Right, so we'll start with the tan rifles. And again, we've got this kind of futuristic rifle with grenade launcher. Just pop the old magazine in there. And that's that in tan. What do you guys feel about the tan weapons and stuff? I personally, I think it would have been cool if they'd done like two-tone weapons and had them just the same, like black and bits of tan deco on there. I think that would have been quite cool. Actually, the backpack's quite nice in that color though, isn't it? Because you definitely see that particular tan color of that backpack. So I kind of like that. I think maybe they should have probably done, if they were to do like desert versions of the Valkyries, would that not have made sense to do like tan versions then? Like that would make sense to me. Like tan versions of the Valkyrie gear for like a desert kind of group would have been really cool. And I think personally for this set, they probably should have gone with like a two-tone sort of vibe, I think, personally. But yeah, anyway, we've got the submachine gun and magazine as well. Pop those two together like so. Another nice one. You get to see a lot more of the details in this color, obviously. We've got two pistols again. Let's just get these on screen. There you go. We've got the two tan pistols. We've got the tan handled knife. And then we've got I'll pick that up in a second. We've got the trooper helmet, which we've just seen in the other, if I can hold it properly. We've got the trooper helmet, which you've just seen in the other set. So we get two of those. And this one, it doesn't have the gas mask. It has the officer helmet, which has more of a flare on the on the helmet there. Can you see that kind of really flares out a bit? But you got it's definitely a different shape to the trick. If I could hold things, if I could use my fingers properly, there you go. You can see there's quite a hefty difference in shape on the two helms there. And then we've got, what have we got? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, we've got 9 blast effects. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yes, we've got everything we need. So we've got the kind of Stranger Things mouth. Was it the gorg? I can't remember what they called it. But anyway, the mouth and that creature was kind of gross. We've got that one. We've got this kind of explosion-based blast effect. We've got one with a bit more extra deco on it with a little white in there, the kind of flare-out one. We've got this one, which is another kind of like, little two-tone kind of situation going on, which again, it acts as like a base for some of the longer, for some of these in actual fact. So we've got these two, which are slightly different sizes, but kind of, similar in style. So they're the kind of long parts of the blast effect. We've got this little one. It's like a mini nuclear explosion, if you put it like that. And then we've got the smoking gun one, which is kind of fun. I like those. And we've got the kind of one with the movement in it. So it's like, kind of style. That's pretty neat too. So we've got, I think all of those we've had, haven't we, with, when did we first have the blast effects? Viper set, wasn't it? Yeah, the Viper set, Demogorgon. Thank you very much, Christoph. Yeah, the Demogorgon and for Stranger Things, what I was talking about, that basically. And all of these kind of like, we had them with the Viper set. We're going to get them with the Steel Core set. I think they're coming with Crimson Strike Team, right? They're using them a lot, and I kind of hope they do a few more variations of these blast effects at some point, because that would be freaking cool. Right now, well, that's all the accessories. Let's get into the figures. And there they are. They're both wide awake this time. There's no rock and roll going on there where they're asleep. That still was amazing to me that one figure, that rock and roll figure, was literally asleep when I opened the box. Right, so here are the Valkyries in their box. Looking really cool with their artwork in the background behind them as well. Very nice stuff. Let's just get them out and have a look. We'll go, I guess we'll just go with whatever I get out first. Come on, there we go. This is the interesting thing of doing like two figures instead of one, but we'll probably be doing that. We'll probably be looking at two on the next one as well. So just because there's a lot to get through. So I'll probably team them up, and we'll do get through the unboxings of, bits in less time, I would say. We'll still, take our time in the actual unboxing videos. There is a Typhoon airplane that's flying around our house at the moment, really low, and it's making a right racket. It's really cool though. I was going to take a video of it, but it just kept kind of disappearing before I could kind of get out there. Anyway, here is the tan secondary version. I guess this would be the officer by default because of the tan gear. I mean, it's up to you what you how you kind of gear them up and everything, and which one is which. As you can see, it's got the kind of light skin tone there as well, and that kind of mask over the face. Then of course I'm going to use, obviously, I'm just going to make this one the default officer for now. Helmet goes on nicely and stays on there quite good. Cool, looks pretty cool with the with that helmet. I'm going to pop the knife in to the secondary on the chest there, so that slides in the top there nicely. Very cool. Let's pop her pistols in all of our holsters. So she's got one on a belt on the side there, so that can go in that way. And there's no hole in the bottom of the holster, so there is a finite distance that it can go, so it will stop dead basically when you put it in there. And the other one I'll put in the thigh holster, and again, same situation. Gets to a certain point and then just says, yep, you ain't going any further. So there she is, all kind of got with a base gear kind of on, and the pistols in, and the knife in the secondary. Pop the old backpack in there too. And yeah, I don't know, it's quite like a nice color pop on the blue and the black, the tan. I know that not everyone is a big fan of the tan. Not everyone's a big fan of the tan, but I do quite like how it looks on the blue at the moment. I think she looks pretty cool, actually. So that is the officer, and I'll give her in fact, what I'll do is I'll put the rifle on her backpack and see how it kind of comfortably, it's pretty comfortable. That's not affecting her in any way. So I'll put it on like that. It doesn't seem to be touching or getting in the way of the arm very much there. So that's cool and out of the way. And then I'll let her hold the other one. So that'll be her signifying officer kind of weapon that she's, the default that she's holding. I just in moving something else, I pushed her thigh secondary down her legs, which is the kind of thing that happens, isn't it? Like, yeah, it's like a buckaroo that you're playing with most of the time with these things. Anyway, there she is with all her gear ready to go, ready to take on GI Joe, and there you have it. By the way, I haven't showered yet, so you get in. It's a good job this isn't smell-o-vision, is all I'm saying. There she is, very cool. So that's the officer. I'm also going to just throw in a couple of let's build us a. Actually, that's probably for a bigger weapon. Let's build us a blast effect. Build an effect. Build a blast. Blaster build. And pop that on there, and then maybe this little. No, it's gonna have to be a long end, but I'll use the shorter long end to go in the end here. And there you have it. It's a bit wonky, but only because they're like, there we go. It just wasn't I don't know. Was it in properly? Okay, there we go. There we go. Pretty cool. I do like the blast effects. They're pretty neat. The door is just opened on its own accord. I think because the plane's going over, making so much noise, shaking the entire building. Can you actually hear that plane flying over, by the way? Or is my voice just too monotonously loud that entire time? Ryan says weapons should have been neon orange like in the Battlecore days. That'd have been pretty cool, actually. Although that probably would have been worse for people than the ones that didn't like the tan. Now we have got the trooper base figure here, and the other thing is you can switch the heads around, right? So that's another thing. Like you can have this particular figure with the dark skin tone. You can have them. You can flip them round, so you can actually have whatever. There's so many different variations you can kind of like mess about with here, which is pretty cool. Anyway, so obviously with all the black and the blue, it's kind of the more standard Cobra kind of fare going on here, which is pretty neat. So let's build this one up as well. Okay, so knife in the chest secondary and pistols in the holsters. One on belt and one on thigh. I'm not having any, like, sometimes I'll be going through these and I'll be like, oh, this is a bit of an issue, or this is a bit of an issue. I haven't really had that with these figures yet. They're pretty cool. Like everything fits well. It all sits there nicely. It does hold into place when you kind of, get it in the right position. So the secondaries are cool. The backpack fits nicely and stays in snug. No issues there. The joints are nice and stiff, but there's obviously, they move and then you can get them into good positions and they stay there and everything. So not having any issues there. The articulation's great. They look really good. The paint apps are solid. So I'm certainly not having any issues at the moment with either of these figures. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like we're getting to a point now with the line. It's kind of catching up with some of the issues that it had before. So yeah, I think that the quality control seems to be a bit better now as well, especially with some of the things. Obviously, the only thing that I still have an issue with is the kind of malleability of the weapons. They should really be a lot stronger, like a different durometer of plastic and everything. They should be a much stronger, like rather than this kind of like wibbly kind of effect. Anyway, I've popped her little submachine gun on the backpack like so. Not as clean as in terms of straightness or anything. It's not as like straight down the line of the backpack as the rifle is on the other one. So I'm going to try it the other way around. But the problem is you've got the handle and you've got the magazine that kind of poke in, but they don't really hit the arm. They kind of go either side of it. So maybe I'll just have it like that. That is a bit cleaner actually in terms of how it's lines up with the backpack. Obviously she would practically in reality she'd be like bumping the magazine with her arm, the back of a bicep, or a tricep. So yeah, that would be annoying. Right, I'm going to pop the trooper helmet on. That's nice and sturdy. That goes in nice and tight as well. I like that. And there is our awesome trooper. So we have got This is just how I've kind of put them together, but I've got the trooper and the officer in this kind of setup at the moment, and they look really good. Really love, like I said, really love the paint apps, love the design on this, lots of nice textures, really awesome kind of figures, these ones. I was excited for these when I first saw them, and now I'm like just really happy to have them in hand. Thanks In Demand Toys. And yeah, the other thing I was going to mention, I didn't know, well, I did notice this before, but I didn't say it, but you've got the straps, which aren't secondaries. These are actually molded elements on the boots that they've just painted in that tan color, which is interesting. So it's funny because everything else on the figure is that kind of tan is a secondary, apart from the straps on the wrist gauntlets as well. On the inside of the arm, you can see there. So there are like a few spots where they've just, you know, put the tan on, and I wonder if like maybe if they'd have not done that, then you could get a couple of, you know, for those that aren't fans of the tan secondaries, you might be able to kind of switch out the tan for the black accessories. I suppose it would just be a matter of like you know, painting over it or something. But anyway, really nice set of figures here. I'm also going to pop the old gas mask on and see how that looks with the helmet. Also see how, oh, the heads come off really easily. That's nice. A little bit of force, but no, they pop on and off really. That's satisfying. Like there's a proper pop and click, but also it's not like, you know, you pull in it and like, and it just went boop. It's, yeah, that was satisfying. So we've got the gas mask on like so, but then I'm going to pop the trooper helmet on and see what that looks like as well. I'll also try it with the other helmet as well, the officer helmet, but it looks pretty cool. Look at that. That's very intimidating. Yeah, I'm loving that. Let's try the officer helmet quickly. Yeah, that goes on nicely as well and stays there. Also looks cool. So you can have either of them with the gas mask. That's pretty neat. Yeah, loving these. So I'm going to leave the gas mask on for now because that's pretty cool. And also there's a bit of a different style going on there. Let's pop that back on this one. And there you go. Trooper and officer. Very nice. Yeah, the Valkyries, the start to my unboxing marathon that's going to be happening over the next few days, basically. But I'll try and get these done every opportunity I can get. Hopefully, I won't have to keep dragging the lighting in this room each time for poor mum and dad. I'll clear it out. I'll clear the place out. Don't worry. What we all saying? Good morning from the EST, says Flaffle. It's rather early there, isn't it? Yeah, sorry about that. Ryan says the lighter color does pop. I think it could have been light gray, like Python Officer Secondary. That would have made a bit more sense, actually. Yeah, kind of keep it in keeping with the other Python or the other officers, basically. But yeah, like, you know how back in the day it was like a gray color, wasn't it? Again, I'm not too fussed with it. But I think, you know, the tan would kind of like lend itself so much better to some sort of desert team. So I think, yeah, that would have made more sense if these were like done in like a desert camo or something. Haven't had that problem yet, Robert, but it might flex a little bit. But you say my only problem with the Valkyries is the officer helmet doesn't fit on as tight as the trooper helmet does. I would say that I get what you're saying on that one, but I haven't had that issue. They are on almost identically in the same kind of like tightness and stuff. They're not going anywhere really at the moment. But yeah, I could see that over time, based on the shape of this helmet, I could see that like flexing out a little bit more. I'm trying to kind of hold them at the same. I never usually have a problem with this. There we go. My fingers aren't working anymore. I love the set. I wish I'd gotten a second set. I didn't expect them to sell out. They'll probably come back again. I would imagine they'll come back again in some way, shape, or form. But yeah, this set specifically. I'm glad I did manage to get a couple of these cheeky ones. Hello, Andy, just joining. Thank you. Right, we're going to phase out for this one, and then we'll obviously we'll just do a little Q&A going from this point on. But we'll just transition to, well, I say transition, but just put my name on the screen, which would be easy just to do that. There we go, done. Right, yeah, so we'll bring it to a close now. So let me know, guys, if you've got any questions or comments or anything, and we'll hang out for a few more minutes. But effectively, I've already unboxed these beauties. If you're joining me late, I've opened the Valkyries 2-pack, and we've got the gas mask alternate head going on the trooper, and we've got basically the kind of officer helmet on this one as well, because of the tan gear. Both very nice figures. Obviously, they're effectively the same base body and everything, so there's not much in the way of differences other than a slight bit of deco change. And of course the secondaries, but yeah, very cool. Slave has the same issue with his officer helmet. It might be over a period of time because I just bust these out, don't forget. So I might have that issue later on. Got mine last week, says Andy. Awesome. Super Slam, so they're amazing. I can see them with the Silver Cobra logo as officers or something. Actually, that would have been cool, wouldn't it? If you're going to change deco on the one with the tan gear, give it a silver logo. That would have been really cool, actually, and then that would have made a lot of sense with like the silver chevron and everything. But I guess it's easier and a bit, well, yeah, I guess it is easier and cheaper based on running it through effectively the same paint masks and everything, apart from those little yellow touches, which would be extra deco hits. But it would have been cool if they're going to do that. If they're going to do an extra deco hit on something, just do it on that logo as well and give us a silver one. That would have been really awesome. Will you do a review of Tripwire and McLeod last as a figure 6-pack? Yes, that'll be the last one I do. But we'll probably be churning these out. I'll probably be like, I'll probably be like 2 a day for a foreseeable future. I too regret not getting another set. Any word on Alpine, says Andy. No official or unofficial word on Alpine just yet, but I would imagine that he, being a quite significant character in the Sunbow series, is definitely one of those kind of things that you probably see sooner rather than later. But unfortunately, I haven't heard or seen anything about Alpine just yet. That's not to say he's not coming, and it's not to say he's not coming, within the next year or so. But as far as I'm aware, no word on Alpine just yet. Any other characters that you guys are kind of pining for? I know Airtight is one that I am desperate to see at some point. Like, how have we not seen, Airtight at this point? But then you could say that about Alpine, you could say that about Airtight, you could say it about Hit and Run, Footloose. Any others that are pretty down the middle, kind of obvious? Obviously, we've got a lot of name-only reveals still floating around in Doc and Torch and Jinx and so on and so forth. So we know that they're coming. We know Airborne's coming. We've seen Crazy Legs, kind of. I mentioned Footloose, figure 6-pack. Who else? I guess like you could get a little bit, crazier and start saying things, Raptor and Crystal Ball and Pythona. Yes, like Pythona. But then, of course, you've also got things like, Psych Out and Sneak Peek, Blizzard. And I mean, Blizzard would be cool, especially with all of the winter stuff they're doing at the moment with Snow Serpent, Snow Job. I think Blizzard would be amazing. Blowtorch is a good one, Christoph, absolutely. Anyway, are you guys, we've got the Steel Core 2-pack coming soon, have we not? Well, actually, no, that's already, heading towards us soon in terms of delivery. I'm excited to see those in hand. Very excited to see those in hand. Are there any other? I mean, are you guys would you guys be up for like green shirts, for example? Would that be something you'd like to see them do, or do you think Grunt kind of covers that for army building purposes? Because throwing that steel core helmet in there, and also, I don't know, but just like kind of having a figure that you, other than the name tag, is an army builder kind of base. Would you like to see them do something like that, like maybe based off Grunt, like a 2-pack of GI Joe kind of troop builders? Or are you happy with Steel Core being your troop builders for Joes? Let me know. Have I heard how many figures to be released next year? 2024? Lots. So I do know, like I haven't counted them, but I'm pretty sure we're aware of the majority of releases coming in 2024, or at least we know, either listings information, or we know that, so we know what some of the characters are. But yeah, it's there's a lot of stuff to come still. It's crazy. Flaffle says iceberg. Yeah, that'd be cool. Iceberg. And then, like, don't screw him over by giving him one accessory. Like, give him a backpack and give him some other stuff to play with. But yeah, I'd love to see iceberg. And then, like, be able to, I don't know, do him justice by giving him more than a machine gun from the vintage version. Light blue Cobra Troopers. Yeah, that'd be interesting. I could see them doing like retro carded versions of troop builders for Cobra, and making them a little bit more like animated colors or original figure colors and stuff like that. I could see that happening. Holy wow, we're communicating from really appreciate your hard work in doing this. It's reassuring when you mention all others beyond Alpine. Everyone needs to share your warp speed. Thanks, Andy. Robert says, I want Lifeline, but with another Transformer with that name coming to secure the trademark. I feel like we'll be waiting a while for the Joe. They'll just call it Edward's Lifeline Steen or something. There's ways around it. And they've been getting around that stuff for eons. They're not like not doing Lifeline because there's a trademark issue. Because like I said, they can just throw his file name either side of it, and it's not an issue at all then. Green shirts, says Super Sign, like them. Slave says green shirts would require a lot of unique heads. Well, yeah, I guess that is a good point. But maybe you could do like a 3-pack, and then you've got 3 different heads, and then it's just a matter of like, switching those up a little bit. Because I mean, it's not like other, with other troop builders, it's just a skin tone thing, isn't it? Like that's how they differentiate some of them, because their eyes are just showing or whatever. Yeah, so like I can see what you're saying with the troop builders like that are exposed full head sculpts, but that'd be cool. Give us some random head sculpts. That'd be well good. I hope to see Arctic Stalker with a kayak. Yeah, Tundra Stalker would be phenomenal. Green shirts with gas masks, of course. I'm good with Steel Core for now. Accessory packs would be cool. I don't know if I need accessory packs, because there's so many weapons and accessories that everything comes with. I have literally got a box next to my desk at home that is full of unused accessories, weapons, and stuff like that. That is just like, I don't need an accessory pack. What do you need an accessory pack for, Flaffle, specifically? What are you wanting in that accessory pack? And what is the reasoning for it? Is it because you are army building certain figures? Let me know. Michael Jean Fleming says, give Iceberg the battle core treatment with the snowboard and rocket launcher. That's a very good shout. Kind of what they did with the figure in the modern era 4-inch as well with the club. The club threw some extra bits in there with him as well, didn't they? Including the snowboard. Did the rifle get stressed at the trigger guard when you put it on the backpack, Toy Reclaimer? Which one? Because no, not that one, and not that one either. No, they seem fine. There's no stress on the trigger guard at all on either of those weapons. What did I have stress on? Falcon's backpack antenna. I think that had like a bend in it when I got it out of the pack, and I had to bend it back into place, and it's got that little white stress mark on it. It's so gross. Just another reason that I can't stand that figure. I love that backpack as well. It would have been great if that hadn't happened to mine. Slave says, now that we have the Valkyries, we need them in the other flavors: Crimson, Python, Arctic Night. I could see these as, I could see them doing these in Python. That would be so good, actually. These two as Python Patrol, yes, please, and thank you very much. That would be dope. Wilfredo, I'm really hoping to see Alpine and eventually all the characters from Cobra La. Cobra La, Wilfredo. Hell yes. Eric Clark says sci-fi. There's another good shout. Sci-fi is that one that I expected them to do when we saw him in Operation Blackout. I expected him to come out in the similar way to that updated version. So I can imagine Sci-fi is probably in the plan somewhere. Not that I've seen him pop up recently, but that I would imagine that at some point he might have been taken off the plan, based on the fact that they're not going to go in that design direction anymore. What characters do you want to see added to Wrath of Cobra with the updates they said they were planning? Well, let's have a think about this. I'd love to be able to be, well, it'd be cool if they did like a little steel core. That would be pretty cute as a character you could utilize. Hands getting sore now. Other than that, you could reskin Storm Shadow a little bit and make him version 2. That would be pretty dope. I'd like to see... what other characters would I like to see? That is a good shout. It'd be fun if they did Tripwire as the new Tripwire and had his little mine detector or his little robot come in and do stuff and set bombs or something, or the Apsara comes in and gets in the way. That would be kind of fun. There's so much you could include though on that Wrath of Cobra game, and it would just be the best. It's going to be great. I'm so excited to play that. So excited. I'm such a big fan of the Turtles arcade games, kind of like Turtles in Time on the SNES. I remember that one Christmas. We were playing it all day long around my mate Matt and Dean Bale's house. We were just a group of us just camped around the TV on Christmas Day, no less, just literally trying to complete Turtles in Time. So I love that kind of style of game. And I think it's just been too long in coming for G.I. Joe. Like, it just makes so much sense for them to do those kind of vintage style games with G.I. Joe characters. So I don't know why it's taken so long. And I also would say, I'm probably doing a whole video on this, but I would also say that with like there are other games that I think would work really well for G.I. Joe, including beat 'em up, like an actual Street Fighter 2 style, beat 'em up game. Because imagine all the characters and their special moves, and it would just be so much fun. So much fun. CoverGirl and Jinx would be great as playable characters, and you could get, when CoverGirl's special move came in, her Wolverine could come in like in the shot, and the missile just like launch loads of missiles. That would be so cool. And if it was Jinx, her special move would be that she blindfolds herself and then does like some sort of crazy, crazy combo move and takes everyone out with that. So there are so many, like, you can just pick a character and you can think of a cool special move. Lowlight would be cool in that too, because it'd be one of those things where his special move would be like, gets in the sniper position, fires the rifle and takes everyone out, kind of thing. It would just be really neat. So I think there's a lot of really cool things they could do with Wrath of Cobra, and I would love to see any characters thrown in there. Bazooka would be great. His special move, getting the bazooka out, all that kind of stuff. I'm trying to think of Alpine's one, but he can maybe climb the wall or something, or he could climb the apparatus around him and then fire from a high point or something. I don't know, something fun like that. But yeah, I could see there's so many like opportunities for some really awesome stuff in that game. So I'm excited. Jinx should be like a combo of Leonardo and Donatello in the Joe game. Yeah, big time figure 6-pack. Got the reach for the bow staff, definitely. And of course she's got swords too. Yeah, you're right, absolutely. I want to see Rise of Cobra Ripcord DLC for Wrath of Cobra, says figure 6-pack. Interesting. I know what you mean, figure 6. You were talking about the Turtles game. I know what you're saying. But it made sense what you were saying. It's going to be an Arctic week for me. Snowdrops, Snow Serpents, and Arctic Bats are coming this week, says Matt. My goodness, that is a lot of Arctic, isn't it? I'd like to see these in Arctic gear. In fact, like, all the troopers would be cool to, location them up with like different kind of gear. But like, I don't know, kind of almost like jackets and fur and stuff like that, like in the similar way to the Snow Serpents, but just have, troopers and that kind of stuff. That'd be very, very awesome. Guitar Hero Cold Slither, says Lightfoot. That's actually genius. You could have Cold Slither and the Average Joe band, or the Action Force band, as it was known in the UK. There we go. Just move that gun out of the way of my face each time. There we go. That works. Iron Grenadiers, Eric Clark. Oh, are you asking any Iron Grenadier? Yeah, any Iron Grenadiers for the game. Yeah, that would be wicked. So yeah, you could have Metalhead come on, and his missiles could be his special move. The thing is, you're only playable characters. It's only G.I. Joe that's playable, isn't it? So I imagine they'll have a thing where you can maybe switch it and be Cobra characters, because that would be fun. Opening it out so you can actually be playable Cobra and do like the game in like a different way or different direction. Maybe that could be like a sequel to that game if this one does really well. I would hope it does well, and I think it could do. I think it could like tick a lot of boxes with the nostalgia, with the the vintage gamers and that kind of stuff, and the crossover between Joe fans and of a particular age and that kind of style of game. It's certainly crossing over with me. I think Joe should have a Dynasty Warriors game. I'd love to see it have Ice Cream Soldier doing some crazy moves with his rocket launcher flamethrower. Yeah, Dynasty Warriors. I'm not sure if I don't think I've heard of that one, Robert. I'll have to check that out and see what you're getting on, what you're talking about. I would love if Hasbro picked up on my idea for a 5mm vehicular combat game like Flames of War, says Patrick. Patrick Benjamin, yes. Okay, so is that kind of like those little tabletop games sort of situation? Because that would be a lot of fun. Almost like a table, like war kind of tabletop gaming, but in a computer game style. That would be kind of fun. Like, what was it? Was it Command and Conquer and stuff like that? Or did you mean 15mm? You meant, not 5mm? Okay. Yeah, is that what you're getting at? Because that would be freaking awesome. Yeah. Something along those lines would be fun. But then again, we have kind of had sort of those games, and they haven't really caught on very well. We did have, what was it, War on Cobra, which was a little bit like that. But I don't know. I think the gameplay for that game wasn't the best, and it got to the point where you could go to a certain point, but then there was no, like, it was hardly any progression after a certain point unless you've spent money. And that's not right. Like, it's a game. Just pay to play it, like pay to buy it first off, and then just play the blooming thing. I hate this pay to play thing, which obviously is good for companies. It's like a ploy in which they can kind of get more money out of it. But I don't know. I feel like it would be so much better to have a game that you buy and pay for, and then that's it. You don't have to worry about it anymore. And I think Wrath of Cobra is going to be more like that. You buy it, you play it, it's all good. You don't have to kind of like and yeah, there will be downloadable content, but that will expand the game a little bit. I feel like with the other ones, it was just like, it wasn't an expansion of the game. It was allowing you to continue the game. And it's just like, that's not right. Patrick says, the problem is the Joes are more about special characters and Cobra is about vehicles. I don't know about that. They're all pretty character based. Like each character from both factions have all got something about them. Do you know what I mean? I don't think it's just about vehicles for Cobra, personally. That's my personal opinion. And then, yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't agree necessarily with that comment, mainly because I feel like, both sides have got those aspects with them. They've got a lot of off the top of my head, Raptor, for example, and the Crocmaster, the Dreadnoks, Zartan, Firefly, Major Blood. Like, there's a lot of characterization in those particular characters. Dr. Mindbender, Serpentor, Baroness, the twins. There are a lots of out there specific depthy kind of characters, and Joe has just the same amount going on the opposite direction, and probably in vehicles they're probably in the similar boat as well. No pun intended. So yeah, I would say you could definitely do a game with plenty of stuff to get stuck into on both the character side and the vehicular side. of both factions or multiple factions, because it's not just Joe and Cobra, is it? It's, you know, October Guard and Iron Grenadiers and so on and so forth. So yeah. Okay. Oh, Dynasty Warriors was a series of games where you were one soldier in a giant army fighting another huge army, beating up their troops and stealing their territory. I've been playing the One Piece version. Interesting. I'll have to check that out, Robert. Thank you. Right, those are all high-ranking characters, but Joes have only characters for the most part. I see what you mean, like troop builders and stuff like that, like troops and stuff. I get that too. But like I said, are you saying there's not enough to do Cobra characterization though? Because there is what I'm saying. Like, you're not going to come into a problem, is what I'm getting at, with doing a game where you need to have Cobra showing, you know, different characters and stuff. There are lots. And, you know, like, yeah, there are a lot of troops. And then on the Joe side, you've got tons and tons of characters. But you could also probably suggest that of so many characters on the Joe side, you wouldn't be able to kind of get 40% of them anyway. Because, you know, it would be like, you know, you've got the core character hump first, then you've got like a B and C and D list. So I would suggest that there's plenty of characterization to go around for all factions in that sense. Open world GI Joe game next. Imagine like GTA style, where you can operate his tanks, maulers, rattlers, hydrofoils, etc. Well, there was a really interesting fan built game, wasn't there? I think GI Joe Berg covered it quite well on their channel. You might be able to find the videos of those. I forget what the game was called, but it was like a fan built one where they kind of modified a certain like open world game, and just like you could get in and pilot a, you know, a Night Raven or a X-30 Conquest and stuff like that. It was really cool. Fangs and all sorts. And yeah, I don't remember what it was called. Do you guys remember that? It was, again, like, I know G.I. Joe Bug did a lot of videos covering that stuff, and it was really awesome. So if you're not sure what I mean, go check out their YouTube channel, because I think it was on there. Armour, Bjorn Jacob Benonison. Sorry for getting your name completely wrong there, Bjorn Jacob. But Armour, was that what it was called? ARMA. Is that what it's called? Because that'd be great to be able to kind of check that out, especially Will, who was just talking about an open world G.I. Joe game. But yeah, that would be pretty neat. I think, obviously, we've got the AAA Snake Eyes game, which is now in that kind of next stage of development. That's very exciting for me. We've got this Wrath of Cobra game, which is kind of your more chilled out, vintage kind of like play and, you know, enjoy it for what it is and then move on sort of game. So I think and they did come out recently to say that they are, what's the word? They're kind of focusing on digital gaming. Sorry, it's so hot. My hair is starting to flatten. Anyone see the Ace Combat 7 game mod? Was that what I was talking about, Figure Six Pack, or was that something different? Because I don't think I've seen that. Yeah. And of course, we did have like World of Warships, and there was another one, wasn't there? Gunship Battle. There have been so many. It's Armour 3 with the G.I. Joe mod. Thank you, Bjorn Jacob. Appreciate that very much. Okay. Right then. Well, I think that's everything. We've covered lots today, somehow. Loads more content coming, believe it or not. Obviously got loads more unboxings to do. Thanks for joining me while I unbox these Valkyries. I'm going to put them down now because my arms are dying. We've got lots to come, including Tunnel Rat, Firefly, and lots more. What I'll do is I'll probably do 2 at a time. And what should we do? What should we do tomorrow? I think we'll do. Let's go with one of the 5-figure wave figures and Desert Snake Eyes. Let's do that. So I'll do. Yeah, we'll do this. We'll do tomorrow. Or tomorrow, whenever I can do it next. We will do Crimson Viper and Desert Commando Snake Eyes. So we'll get those 2 done next. Then once we've done that, what have we got after that? Let's do the 5-figure wave, because now we're down to 4 figures in that, so that makes sense. And we'll do, let's do Grunt and what would make sense here? Let's do the 2 greenies. Let's do Grunt and Tunnel Rat. We'll do those 2 together. So we'll do those two following Snake Eyes and the Crimson Viper. And then we'll do Firefly and Low Light, because they're the two greys. So we've got the two greenies and the two greys together. And then we will do Eels Up Inside You, finding an entrance where they can. That'll be on its own, because then we'll have Tripwire to get stuck into. And I'm leaving him to last for obvious reasons. Obvious raisins. I think that would be everything at that point. Yeah. So we'll do Eels on their own, and we'll do the other guys. We'll do two at a time. And I hope that works for everybody. But that will be the way we kind of get through all these, because there's no way if I did one a day, I wouldn't be able to do it before I went home. I don't think. Well, I've got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 more to do. How many days have I got left? Probably that many. I think it is. Yeah, because I go back on Tuesday next week, don't I? So it's Monday today. So yeah, I literally would have to do one a day, and on the day I was leaving. Nah, not going to happen. No, I'm not doing polls, because everyone will just want Tripwire done first. We'll do it this way. It's all good. Right then, guys, thank you so much for joining me. Apologies if the stream was a little bit laggy, or if it was like low quality. Apologies. I've been getting that logo crop up quite a lot. I'll see if I can do anything about that. But anyway, thanks for joining me. Thanks for chatting away in the comments as well. It is hotter than the sun out here, and I'm literally under huge lights right now, so this is making it excruciating. But anyway, it's been amazing being back and seeing lots of friends and everything, and also hanging out in Demand Toys. I'll be taking some footage of that store as well, because it's pretty amazing. So I'll be going back there this week to film and probably post that up at some point during the week. Anyway, I've got Let's Talk Classified Jinx in the works. I've got a PulseCon preview video in the works, and we'll have to be working out we'll probably have to do the monthly at some point as well this week with Justin and Pat. And I think it might be a video game based monthly. We were going to do a PulseCon preview sort of thing together, but it's more than likely I'm going to have to do that video on my own, and then we'll do some sort of video game based monthly, because it obviously makes sense that that's what's happening. Anyway, always a pleasure. Always remember to stay fresh cheese bags, especially in this heat. Whew, if you can. After 3, you know what to do. Let's get the Valkyries on screen for this one. After 3, you know what to do. 1, 2, 3. Full force. See you later.
That's it for this instalment of the Full Force News Burst. Make sure to like, comment and subscribe. See you next time, and as always, Full Force. Make sure you get involved with the discussion by liking, sharing and commenting on these videos, and as always you can keep up with the show after listening by following on Twitter @The Full Force, liking the Facebook page facebook.com/The Full Force, and if you would like to contact the show you can message us on either of those platforms with feedback and questions. We also have a Patreon page, so if you want to show your support for the show, see your name up in lights on these videos, or enjoy exclusive bonus content, then check out patreon.com/The Full Force Podcast, or click on the link on any of the posts this podcast appears in. Full Force.